evening, everyone, and welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show where we talk nerd. I am your host, Darth Pants. Why do they call me Darth Pants? Well, the answer is simple. I like to wear pants. More specifically, I enjoy wearing jeans. Tonight we bring you a special episode that is Sorry, Jablonski, your smile is going to be off track, right? Can't see it, but you know. Wait, what was I talking? Oh yeah. Tonight we're indulging in our usual ritual of celebrating Star Wars during their Star Wars celebration. We are doing it we couldn't do it last week because there was still a celebration to be had. With that being said, we're here to talk about everything. The trailers, the projects, the stuff that happened, the other things in the future. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show tonight as... Well, that sucks. Can't even drink my beer. I can't drink my beer. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this at all.
Mistakes were made, young Padawan.
I am not a Padawan. I am a Sith Lord. I'm here with that one asshole Ewok and Jedi Master Kuma. Welcome to the show tonight.
Right.
Yes.
What was that? What was that? Your whole excellent thing. That wasn't even Palpatine. That was Mr. Burns right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
It's like the excellent Simpson.
Smithers,
fire the
release
Death
the
Star.
hounds.
Oh my god, it's crazy. Okay, yeah, this is coming
That's
up.
done.
Yeah, there you go.
At least award for the intro.
Yep, I did the
It's bad
intro
because
was
you
a-
can't have
We should've-
intros.
Jablonski, we should have made a bet for how long he was gonna keep
Shut
going.
up. That would have been
Yeah.
funny.
It's not coming off. I can't get it off.
Ha ha ha.
I can't get it off. What the fuck? Oh my god. This is ridiculous. I can't get it off.
Well, while Evan takes off, well, Darth Pants tries to reassess his life choices.
There we go.
There we go.
Motherfucking Darth Pants needs some help there.
Yeah, for anyone who's a fan of Forbidden West or Horizon series,
Yeah.
the new DLC drops this upcoming Wednesday, and they're hinting at we're actually gonna be fighting a Metal Devil.
Metal Devil.
Those giant horses.
Oh, that's better. The Dark Side.
I think I know what those are.
They're the giant. They're like the biggest fucking robots in the entire in the series.
Okay.
They're the ones that made the corruptors. I think is what they were.
Really? Could move my camera over here.
Yeah, those things are damn hard.
Are they harder than me?
Dude, a wet noodle is harder than you.
In your dreams. Before I continue, I also want to point out here, beginning next week, we'll be doing some catch-ups on some news that happened this week, such as the numerous trailers that came out, such as the Meet the Marvels and a bunch of other stuff. Also next week, Cruiser and Jablonski will be opening their Linkin Park blind boxes. And I'm hoping by next week I'll be able to begin our next segment of Fact of the Week. I'm trying to see if I can film a couple on Tuesday. So yeah. Stay tuned for that. I'm really behind on that and I apologize.
You suck.
The Force is really strong with me, I'll say that. I can see why
Force
Darth...
is strong with something with you. I don't know if it's that.
I know the Force is strong with me. It's strong in my family, it's not strong in yours.
It's strong in the honey.
It's strong in the honey?
No, yeah. It's this candy. It's called honey.
What? Honeys, it looks like cough drops.
Yeah. No, yeah, they do have like a cough drop version as well too. This is a milk and honey version. It's really good. I like it.
Does it come from that
So
land?
my, I found my use. I found a use for the Easter basket that my girlfriend got me.
Sick, a Spider-Man one. You got the entire box?
Yeah, I got an entire box.
You should send me and Jablonski one for taste testing.
They're on Amazon. They're pretty cheap.
Uh, so, are you guys ready to talk Star Wars?
No, I want
Try.
to talk about.
It's funny because like before the stream began, I was actually going to call to name a instead of calling Jablonski that one asshole, I was going to call him Captain Spock.
You should have done it too. Just because I am that asshole.
Yeah.
I know. I can.
The Force is strong with me.
No, just gotta catch them all.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Get your game on. Yabba dabba do. Okay. So, we're going to go through everything here. This year, Star Wars Celebration ran from the 7th through the 10th. It was being held in Europe this year. I'll be going over whether they're going to be holding it next year at the end, because I'm actually really surprised they chose this as a location. Hint, hint. I think I mentioned this last week, saying that there was a rumor of it coming to back to Orlando. The rumor was debunked. So, God knows why MegaCon's taking place in February.
But it's actually taking place in February this next year? Or is it a
MegaCon.
mini?
MegaCon.
Oh well.
Well then.
Yeah. It's weird. I might have to
Yeah.
That
miss
is a
it.
bit weird.
Hoping Bruce doesn't have to go to friggin' TupeloCon that time. So let's begin with the first piece of news that we got here. One of the first headlining news that we got here was the announcement of 3 new Star Wars movies. These new movies have chosen the directors. James Mangold, who's doing Indiana Jones 5. Dave Filoni, needs no introduction. And Shermeen Obaid Chinoy, who did Miss Marvel. And considering it's been a while since their last theatrical release of anything Star Wars, I want to point out here that what they have in mind is pretty substantial to establishing the new timeline, in my opinion. It says here's what's going on. Mangold is going to be focusing on the past, the dawn of the Jedi. Filoni is covering the present universe, which is or the New Republic, which is pretty much, in my opinion, a interesting thing since he's done more of the recent stuff, such as Book of Boba Fett. He's been doing Bad Batch. I don't know if he's been doing Mandalorian season 3 or not. Was he, or is that just Favreau? Again.
I don't know. But at the same time, though, too, I don't get my hopes up. And on top of that, too, did they not learn the last time on multiple directors?
Well, they're working together, from what I've heard, to establish something there. I don't know if the movies are supposed to be like interconnected or anything like that. Oh yeah, I should probably point out here the last one. Obaid Chinoy is doing a science fiction movie set 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. Daisy Ridley is set to return as Rey, as the establisher of the new Jedi Order. Well, they're working on what they got, that's for sure. Hey, Sarah Bear, Kuma, yo. See you chatting in our chat.
Yeah.
Go have fun with that. But honestly, like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know whether these 3 stories are meant to be connected or not. Maybe it's supposed to establish something new in the universe and just like kind of build on that.
I mean, that's why I kind of liked it when we were following, like with the new movies. That's why I kind of liked it. We were following a new group of people, but they were still connected to, to Luke and all of them and everything. But
Yeah.
I still like following like other types of groups and everything, or other Jedis, like how they did in the animated series and all like that.
Yeah. One thing that was really interesting, I think, about the last movies is they kind of, in a way, eased us into the new group. Like, first they started off by mixing in both groups from the previous movies, You know, you got Han, you got
Yeah.
Leia, you got Luke, everybody in there, and then after that they kind of
Yep.
weaned you away from it with just less characters, and then the last one is just it's these new group. They're on their own.
My pizza's here. I'll be right back.
He's got pizza. He's got pizza.
No.
He didn't invite us to have
I
pizza.
had enough pizza this past week. I am set for a while.
Have you been having pizza nightmares? Have they been giving getting you closer and closer to the dark side?
No.
I disagree.
They have been making me sick, and on top of that, remind me why I don't really eat that much fried food anymore.
Really? Do tell. Do tell, Padawan.
I'm not a Padawan. I'm a fucking Ewok. Second,
Which
Yeah,
Ewok are you, though? Are you from the animated show, the live-action movie, or the Return of the Jedi?
doesn't matter.
Kind of does.
Then yes.
Yes to what?
Yes.
Yes to which?
Just yes. Anyways,
I might as well call you Jedi Master Fred Burger. Thank you very much.
anyway, but yeah,
Drinking my
I've
beer through a
just really
straw.
been turned off by like fried foods and all that lately, and I had to house sit for my family for about 2.5 days, and and since it was last minute, I couldn't go grocery shopping to get like much of anything. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get like a giant fucking ass pizza and eat that.
The fried food is not strong with this one. Did you get like pizza nightmares?
No, it just kind of made me
You
feel
get like those
kinda
pizza nightmares where your mom is in trouble and you find her being destroyed by Tusken Raiders?
No.
I've been there. I've done that. I hope you brought some for the entire class.
I hope you have money for the entire class.
I don't know. I just got a good paycheck. But anyway, enough of that. But yeah, I'm confident.
Buy your own pizza.
I'm confident in these three movies. I want to see where they go and see what they want to establish, because I'm going to be going into the timeline next about what they're going to be doing, and I think that in order to establish that, you gotta get your way scratched there. I feel like the movies were saying that you can make a Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
They got to do a lot of making up, because the last trilogy.
Jesus Christ, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi. What more do they need to make up? What more do they need to?
I'm not talking about the shows. I'm talking about movies specifically.
Okay, and considering the shows,
And
I
on
like.
top of that too, I don't really watch those, so it's like
Really, you didn't see Book of Boba Fett?
I didn't really care for a lot of it.
Oh my God, you're missing out.
Yeah, you're talking. Okay,
I
so
enjoyed.
everyone we're doing a Star Wars themed episode.
Yes.
Of Ants. We got the Star Wars Uber nerd.
Who you're pointing at, Kuma? Actually, and everybody's seeing you're pointing at nothing. Bottom. No, the other side.
But
Bottom.
anyways,
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's like you got the Uber nerd. You got
I don't know.
you got Kuma, which I don't know his level of
Casual.
knowledge of it, and you got me, who doesn't really even bother with Star Wars.
Okay. Well, you can. Still, still have fun with what you got. At least you saw the trailers, and we can discuss that.
Yeah, I saw the trailers, and we'll get to them when we get to them.
Yeah. The Force is not strong with this one.
But yeah, I will agree with Jablonski though that like they are both like separate things, movies and a series and all like that. Because like with the series, they have to like literally plan out like each episode of where it will take place and everything. With the movie, they have to like have everything like already established there for us to like get into it or be immersed. Like I feel more immersed when I'm watching like Mandalorian or like the Book of Boba Fett and everything. I feel more immersed when I'm watching them. When I'm watching the movies, I know I'm watching a movie, something like that. Like I
You know, there's got to be like a quick story there that you have to follow.
yeah,
Whereas opposed to
yeah,
shows where there's like multiple stories that can make up like one big like adventure essentially.
yeah.
Um,
It's
well, it depends. I mean, like maybe they will do everything there. Maybe each one might be interconnected in some way. I mean, technically they're in a different timeline. They're in the same timeline universe, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens there.
so from what
I'm actually
from
more
rumors that
surprised about.
have popped.
I'm actually more surprised that people responded pretty positively of Daisy Ridley returning as Rey, which I'm actually really kind of
That
surprised
I'm a
with.
little surprised on, but at the same time too, it's like I kind of okay. So I was talking to you guys about this in our
Yeah.
chat. Um, I kind of feel like they were going to go into a different direction
Hmm.
with Ray and with the new cast because it just felt a lot right having Ray be more of like the Han Solo of the group
Yeah.
because she kind of had that uh, kind of had that personality to her or that reminded me of Han Solo. Um, Poe is just Poe. He's I would have accepted either one of the two to be the Han Solo kind of character.
I mean, I was okay with Poe, like how they scrapped the whole idea of him being a like a Jedi or him being force sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, like, Finn was the one that was gonna be force sensitive.
Yeah,
Oh
Finn
wait,
was the one that I wanted to be the Jedi.
There is some there they do kind of expand on that in. I don't know if they do expand on it within the comics, but they do also expand on it within the sadly within the Lego movies, but they're canon. That's the best way you could describe the Lego movies. I know they're not canon, but some people say some stuff is canon, but it's like it's a mess. Sorry.
But yeah, I feel like that they should have went with Finn being the Jedi. Ray, while being force sensitive, isn't the prodigal child of like the Jedi Order and all that, and it would have also worked a lot better for Finn's character to come around full circle.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And also, they should have scrapped the fucking Palpatine bullshit. That was so dumb.
Yeah, I can't deny that. That I mean, like in retrospect, Palpatine did have children in the canon, but you know.
If it was that, I wouldn't have minded because it wouldn't have been Palpatine directly. It would have been his
Yeah,
kids. So, and that I would have been like, okay, I'm that's fine. That kind of makes sense. But to
yeah,
have it
but
be
we were meant to believe
Palpatine,
that Palpatine is alive and
that
whatever.
that honestly did piss me off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say up front there. I will defend the thing of him coming back to like the end of time. I'm sorry, considering this is that his reasoning for coming back has been like established for a long time now, even before this Disney bought. But yeah,
No, again, we're not saying that it was like it was bad. We're just saying like it's just dumb that it had to be Palpatine.
It kind of felt more like a corporate decision to bring him into it.
but I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
because like I feel like it could have been like any other like Sith Lord. I kind of would have looked forward to, like someone more worse or more badder than Palpatine, something like that.
jeez, the only one I can think off the head that would be that within that universe that would be worse than Palpatine in terms of evil would probably be Thrawn. But other than that, yeah, I
Well,
honestly
and
think
speaking of actually,
I mean, I like the fact that they follow more of the comic style. I mean, Palpatine has returned numerous times even before Disney took over.
well, and speaking of Thrawn, rumor has it that the Dave Filoni movie might actually be an Heir to the Empire story.
I've heard rumors of that. Yeah,
Hmm.
we'll get to Thrawn. I mean, like, I want to see some more Thrawn. I still have to see Rebels all the way through, but I know who Thrawn is, and my goodness, I can't wait. But yeah, let's get into some more stuff here. The Star Wars timeline that they established, the updated timeline. I think they do this like every year. Was shown. I have it in the ants chat. And let me just bring up what we got here on the timeline. There we go. So our current timeline right now. Let me just bring it on my laptop here. You guys can probably see it already. It loads in this
Yep.
Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. The current timeline right now that we got, or the recent one, was the Dawn of the Jedi, which I'm assuming is the front word of the Jedi. The Old Republic, needs no introduction. The High Republic. The Fall of the Jedi, the Reign of the Empire. Age of the Rebellion, the New Republic, Rise of the First Order, and the New Jedi Order. I do like the different emblems they got there going on. I mean, Mandalorian is starting to go with. I mean, you can. I like how you can easily distinguish like which events in the movies are going where. And I like how they're like setting up different key points. Like I can't say it's like similar to the Marvel universe, but they have to like, where it's like, it continues the story and just sometimes goes back. But no, they have to like establish like which period it's at, rather than just going through phases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Easily sorts things out. With that being said, let's talk about possibly the most talked thing here, and that's the Ahsoka Tano movie.
Huzzah!
Oh my goodness. I was afraid to watch this trailer like badly because I'm really behind on Mandalorian because I'm busy with other shit. But oh my goodness,
Well, she doesn't really like do like she's not really prominent that much besides like maybe in
yeah, I know that. Like
1 or 2 episodes.
from what I've heard though, there's like characters that are revealed that are in Mandalorian that if you haven't seen it, we give some spoilers, but I'm not really too positive on this. Now, I want to point this out here again. I have not seen Rebels all the way through. Star Wars Rebels. My dad's actually going to start watching that after Bad Batch. But yeah, I'm really have to inch towards that because I want to see everything about this. So, going through everything here, from what I'm saying here, the story. Let me see if I can get the. There really wasn't a lot in terms of story to talk about, but like it takes place 5 years after the Jedi, and what I'm seeing here is we're seeing more or less what is the word I'm looking here? More or less I can't say a continuation, more or less like it feels more like a reunion, like a live action reunion of the characters from Rebels, which I find really interesting. And we got a lot of cool stuff going on there. We got Harrison Syndulla, played by Elizabeth Winstead, who's writing the Phantom 2 with Chopper also being in there. Hopefully he won't be arrested for more war crimes, from what I've heard. We did get a shot of Ezra in this small hologram section, which I'm interested in seeing what happened. I know what happens to him, kind of, but like it's complicated for me to follow, honestly. I know he's like in the world between worlds, I believe, after a confrontation between him and Vader. What else do we got going on here? Hayden Christensen is going to be making an appearance as Anakin, most likely I'm going to say in a flashback. And yes, yeah. The big thing everybody is talking about is the live action appearance of Thrawn, who is going to be played by Lars Mikkelsen from the animated series. So, from what I've heard, I had to look through like different videos, and apparently those who went to Star Wars Celebration got a sneak preview of footage of what he looks like. And from what I've heard, the moment he came on screen and started speaking, it got so much overwhelming feedback. Like they loved what they saw, and I can't wait to see what they got. Considering how, I mean, Thrawn, in my opinion, is a good villain. Like I said, I haven't seen Rebels, but I know who he is, what he's done, and how high, and how he like rose from the bottom to the top of Grand Admiral. It's like crazy. But yeah, what do you think, Kuma? Like, what was your thoughts on this trailer?
I enjoyed it. Like, again, like with Rosario Dawson continuing to be Ahsoka.
Yeah, I kind of do
Really,
wish I got.
really worked.
This thing is itchy. Go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I wish. I wish I could hear it well too. But no, yeah, like her whole like like the voice that she used for the character works, I would say as well too, and her lights as well too, continuing with the like with the dual lightsabers, but like
Yeah, as well as the lightsabers that were from
unlike
Rebels.
yeah, yeah, unlike where like she used to use the she used to use the like she used the Tonfa versions, didn't she?
She's the what?
The Tonfa versions, it's like the Tonfa.
I think she did. She started using the dual ones like mid-season of Clone Wars, but
No, yeah, but like the Tonfa like lightsabers are like the ones where like she was like spinning them around for a bit.
no, she didn't use that.
Okay.
That's an Inquisitioner one, I think. We do get a shot of her
No,
fight.
no, that's not no, not that's not what the Tonfa is.
Okay, let me just look
The
it up.
Inquisitor one is yeah.
What's it
The
called?
Tonfa one is basically Confa, Tonfa.
Tonfa lightsaber. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh no, 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 no! I know what you're talking
about.
about. The one with the like Billy Club ones kind of deal. For lack of a better description, has like the rail on the side, the handle on the side.
Yeah, it's a Tonfa.
Yeah, that was not in. Ahsoka never used those.
Okay.
Ray kind of did. Hey, Cruiser, what's up?
Interesting.
Sleepy.
You sure you can handle tonight?
Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, do what you want to do. But yeah, we got
Well,
I'm sorry, go on.
Well, I guess I'm still wondering if Jablonski and I are going to still do our unboxing.
Well, maybe if we have time at the end, you can. Otherwise, I said in the beginning you were going to do it next week, but we'll see what we can do. Anyway, no, she didn't use the Tonfa. I know, friggin' Shakti's apprentice did in Force Unleashed. Did.
I think that's what I was probably thinking of.
Yeah, I think her name is, I'm looking up here on Wikipedia, Guard Chateau.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Is always funny. But, like, yeah, she was a badass. I liked that character. I really want them to bring back more elements from The Force Unleashed. That was a good game. I played it again on the Switch, Nintendo, whatever, But yeah, we got to see some cool shots of the different worlds they're fighting in. Ahsoka fighting an Inquisitioner. What's even cooler is that they got another little cameo. The droid at the end, Professor Huyang, who is the droid that helps younglings construct their lightsaber, is back, and he's again voiced by David Tennant, which is really cool. I thought that was. I like how they're going back and getting some of the original voices and some of the original voices playing the live action iteration. I love that attention to detail that they've been doing in the live action shows so far. From Bo-Katan to Cad Bane to all that other stuff. It's really interesting stuff. But yeah, Filoni is set to be the writer and director. Safe hands. And while footage was revealed at Star Wars Celebration, it has not yet been revealed to the public. And from what I've heard, Disney has been cracking down on every moment. They want to disguise this thing here to keep up the hype. But yeah, the trailers received a lot of positive feedback, and I liked what I saw. Kuma, you agree with me on that. You said you liked what you saw in this trailer.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it when it comes out in August.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Cruiser, I changed your name. You're now the concert Rancor.
I'm getting really sick and tired of you changing my name.
Then change your name back.
You always change it again.
Yeah, then change it back. It's not a big deal. Come on, Boba Fett riding the Rancor was awesome, man. You. So, moving on to the next one here. Some of the stuff here that was only mentioned briefly, such as this one for Andor Season 2. I still have yet to see the rest of Andor. I saw everything that happened after the heist. I haven't seen anything after the heist.
I haven't finished it either. I haven't finished it.
The heist scene was awesome, though. That's been my favorite so far, but I need to see it. There hasn't been much released on Season 2. They're aiming for a 2024 release, and shooting starts in November. some more information I got here on the next thing that was announced was Acolyte. Acolyte has been this weird, obscure project. One that's been only mentioned, but not really fully given details on. I think we've spoken about it on the show before, like very briefly, be it last Star Wars Celebration or like very small times. But we got.
I remember it.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that's like, yeah, it's coming out. What did we got? Right now we still again don't have any release dates. But fine, dude, easy. No release dates as of yet, but we finally got some details on the plot. The creator, Leslie Lee Headland, confirmed that the show would be told from the bad guy's perspective and added that she pitched it to Kennedy as a way of Frozen meets Kill Bill. It takes place 100 years before the prequels in the High Republic era, and we are essentially learning how the Sith began to infiltrate the Republic. The plot scenario goes, it's the High Republic near the beginning of the prequels and an exciting part of the timeline. This is when the bad guys are outnumbered, explained by Headland. They are the underdogs. I'm really excited for you guys to see things you haven't seen in live action yet, being set in the High Republic era. Jedi I can't pronounce this one's last name. Vernestra Rao from the High Republic novels, which I was really psyched to hear they're bringing in, was confirmed to join the series as well. And this is good because we don't see a lot of stuff that's from the villain's point of view, aside of maybe a couple of Clone Wars episodes, or like maybe some stuff from the Bad Batch. I mean, this is probably one of the more mainstream dark side series we got so far. What do you think?
Yeah.
But
I mean, like seeing things from a different perspective is always kind of interesting, especially if you're looking from the bad guy's point of view as well.
oh yeah, definitely. Like I like how we've seen like the evolution of of villains on the side. I mean, like we look at like Lord Vader when he was in Kenobi, where we saw how he evolved and where he is like not so long after what happened and everything like that. But it's interesting stuff, really. I want to see how the Sith started to take over the Republic era. But it's a good start. Jablonski, what do you think? You think a show centering around a dark side character from the beginning has potential?
Would be nice if they made it into like a political drama.
Because that worked really well before.
Huh?
I guess.
Other than that, I don't know if I would. I don't know.
Nothing you really get into?
Nah.
Really don't want to see
It would
something
just
from
depend.
Cruiser, what do you think about this idea of just taking it from a different perspective of the villain's point of view in an early version of this story?
It worked for Cobra Kai.
That's a good way to put it there. That's a good comparison, actually. I like that.
Well, that's basically what I mean. Before Cobra Kai, we all assumed Johnny was the bad guy. But then we saw things from his perspective and realized that wasn't entirely the case.
We get like a more human approach towards an antagonist in a way, or like an antagonist force.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, heck, even go ahead.
Like that's actually a good comparison because like with Star Wars like expanding on like say on more perspective of some of like the stormtroopers, giving them more of a human perspective of everything that's going on in their end, and it really kind of expands that thing there. But no, go on what you were saying.
Well, when you talk about humanizing someone, kind of like the essential villain, Sensei Kreese, we even saw why he is the way he is. I mean, the guy's a Vietnam veteran, a survivor. He lost his girlfriend, his folks, and you saw why he turned out the way he did.
Yeah.
So you could say it's humanizing him.
Yes. I mean, even in Episode 3, to quote Anakin Skywalker, in my eyes, the Jedi are evil. just seeing it from a different point of view and getting more like a different like. Again, quoting Obi-Wan Kenobi from a certain point of view. But I think it's interesting. I think I like what that comparison you drew there. Just finding a way to more humanize more of the people, more of the other characters, and from a different perspective and different view. What do you guys think?
Well, again, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they do it with this, because like we don't really know that much on how they start off, like how they like start off in power, because like, when we watch the movies, like they're kind of just already established.
Yeah.
Remember,
Well, we haven't seen it from a visual perspective. It's expanded upon like the novels, the comics, and everything. But you mean by that, I know what you're saying, like more of a visual perspective.
No, yeah, well, like you said as well too, we're following like this other person as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going the fact that we're getting in Venestra is going to be an interesting addition. Moving on here, we are this one we only talked about once last year. It was Skeleton Crew. It was not given a lot of details aside it being announced. So Skeleton Crew, much like Acolyte, has not had a release date, and if you went to the celebration, a trailer did drop. It's not been posted publicly though. Here's what we know so far: Jude Law will be in it, playing a Jedi, and this is what we got for the story. The story will follow a group of kids that go on an adventure across the galaxy. What could possibly go wrong? And it's described as Star Wars meets the Goonies. Jeez, what hasn't been? I heard you laugh at that. I knew someone was going to chuckle at it. It's also taken place during the time of the Mandalorian. So I'm assuming we're going to be seeing reruns of Mandalorian, but there'll be these kids running around in the background just having fun. Doing what?
It's gonna be a clip show.
No, not a clip show.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not so much like a clip show, like one of those like, oh, they were there doing that's how that happened. Those guys did it.
Well, yeah. Or like an perspective idea.
Oh yeah. I don't know, like when I think of the Skeleton Crew, when I heard that thing, I'm like, are they were the Skeleton Crew those guys that were the mods from Book of Boba Fett? The guys that were parodying the mods, which I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know you know what I'm talking about, the band of speeders that they recruit, the speeder bike guys with like the modified speeder bikes.
Oh yeah.
They're they're based on like a real bike team called the Mods in like England, which is really funny. It's interesting stuff. We also got news of a re-release. Return of the Jedi is coming back to theaters. Got this sick-ass poster to go with it, which you can see in the Ants chat.
The original or the special edition?
That's a good point, actually. I actually don't have a lot of details. I'm going to assume the current edition right now.
Yeah, no one's gonna care.
Really? Really? No one really. I haven't really heard any bad things about the special edition, aside from one scene where they just give Vader the like no deal. But yeah, it's been 40 years since it came out, and it's planned to be released again on the big screen from April 28th to the 4th through the 4th. And I'm debating whether or not to find time to see it. I really want. I was asking my dad, if I get tickets to this, will you see it? And he's like, yeah, I can if it's possible. Because it's funny. Like, I showed my girlfriend Return of the Jedi for the first time, and when she saw the ending where Luke is burning Vader's body, she cried. She cried her eyes out. It was crazy. It's probably the first. She's probably the first person I've ever seen cry at a Star Wars at that movie. Honestly,
he did.
He did. He did. I have his head. It's like, alas, poor Vader. I hardly knew ye.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Oh my god, there was a guy at MegaCon who was dressed like a stormtrooper, but he was like Shakespeare and was holding Vader's head.
Oh, I think I saw him.
And when I took a picture, that's all he did. He just did this pose holding his head. Storm Sphere. Alright, so I'm only going to touch on this. I'm only going to give this a big mention because there really wasn't a lot to mention about it, but they did show a trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I don't know if Cruiser's...
No, that's just interesting.
Yeah, we was announced last time we saw it there. I don't know if Cruiser saw it, because I know you're like the prominent Indiana Jones fan here.
I did, but it was months ago.
Yeah, but you didn't see the new one?
They made a new one?
Yeah, there was one that came out during Star Wars Week Celebration.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's okay. There really wasn't much to talk about it. Like, we got some more cool shots. We got some more action in there. It's cool seeing Harrison Ford back with the hat. But honestly, people keep saying they like the de-aging technology. I'm like, I'm not seeing de-aging technology. I'm just seeing an old-ass Indiana Jones here.
I'm just waiting for him to say, I'm getting too old for this shit.
He probably does.
Yeah, it's a real solid impression of Harrison Ford in the current day. He sounds more like a cowboy now, honestly. That's the best way I can describe it. Space pirate.
Has Harrison Ford and Sam Elliott ever been in a movie together?
I don't know.
Because if not, why? Why not? Damn.
Yeah, that would be good. Sam Elliott, Clint Eastwood, Harrison Ford.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool, yeah.
3 gruffy old men just doing that. Let me see there. Has Harrison Ford...
Here's an idea. The 3 of them play as, like, basically old-timey cowboys or bounty hunters, just withered old men, and, like, someone comes and asks them to teach them the ways of the gun.
Hold on. Yeah, they starred together in a 1986 drama, The Mosquito Coast, apparently, and I think they were together at the 1923 premiere. I think they're doing a spin-off of, and I also think they're doing a spin-off of Yellowstone.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Sam Elliott or not, but I know Harrison Ford's going to be in there, which is good because he hasn't really done a lot to my knowledge, honestly. I know he's going to be entering the MCU soon, though, which I'm really excited because that guy's going to be the Red Hulk. That's just hilarious in any way you look at it. Harrison Ford is the Red Hulk. But, I digress. Sorry, I had that poster on the whole time. There really wasn't much I could show picture-wise aside maybe the poster for Dial of Destiny. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I might give it a shot if it's good. If I do, I have to rewatch the entire, Indiana Jones... I know it's not a trilogy anymore, but what's the G form of...
Quadrilogy.
Huh?
Quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy, thank you. And I know Cruiser has all of them. That should be a thing we and you should do, Cruiser. We should just sit down and watch all 4 movies. We'll marathon it. I mean, I saw Raiders with you. I remember you fanboy gazzing over it. Because that's the thing you don't know about the Concert Cruiser. He is a massive Indiana Jones fan. Who'd have thought? Mm-hmm. That guy likes getting the whip. Admit it, Cruiser, you were the guy running around in the backyard with the hat and the belt. You were playing Indiana Jones in the backyard.
Actually, no, I never did that. Power Rangers, yes, but not Indiana Jones.
He's just the guy who goes around the world with the gun.
Oh my god, I wish I could remember the song, the Indiana Jones song from the Adventurers Club back in Pleasure Island. Indiana, Dr. Jones spends his time digging up old bones. I don't remember the other stuff. And Tallulah wants to see if he will catch her and spank her and whip her behind. The Adventurers Club, the old days, Congaloosh. Anyway, I got stories from that cruiser that you would go crazy. I was a little kid and lucky enough to experience that thing. Speaking of which, another thing that... Oh my god, here's another thing that got the most reception from. We're getting a second season of Tales of the Jedi. If you don't remember, this series came out last year and received overwhelmingly positive responses from fans, casual watchers, and critics. I have yet to see it. My dad saw it and said, Evan, you need to see this series, immediately. I have to rain check that now because I got enough on my hands. I was now watching Chainsaw Man, One Piece, friggin' Mandalorian. I'm all over the place.
Sir, okay, so with you watching One Piece,
I do.
what would be like having something that takes more commitment than marriage?
I mean, I could just watch it in the background. I've been watching it as I'm working most of the time, but yeah.
So then you're not watching it.
I am watching it. I can do both.
That requires you to pay attention.
I am paying attention.
Oh, and just for a brief bit, first-time Gundam fans are now having an existential crisis.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Gundam fans, first time.
What are you aloofing to?
Okay, we're taking a side step, people.
Really dark shit.
Within the series?
Yes, within the new Gundam series.
I would know. I don't watch anime.
Evan, get the spoilers thing ready, please.
Okay, we're taking a sidestep, people, from the topic. Please excuse me.
Hush, hush, hush. Here comes the bogeyman.
Okay, go chat 5 minutes.
Okay, so essentially what they did in the new episode was that they revealed that the Gundam of the main series has a child in it. And not just any child, but the mother of the main character, her other daughter is in the robot.
You're saying a robot gave birth?
No, I'm saying they put a child's mind in a robot.
That's some Doctor Who shit right there.
And all for the sake of revenge.
Interesting. But yeah, back to Tales of the Jedi. I remember when there was one thing about this. I might be remembering this wrong, but this actually goes towards Cruiser. Cruiser, when I told when this got like overwhelming positive feedback, you got really upset that it did.
What?
Yeah, I remember this being here. It's like it became when it was released on Disney Plus. It was like the most watched thing for like 2 months, and I remember you saying that you were really mad that this was getting popular. I might be remembering this wrong. Please excuse me.
It might be because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Tales of the Jedi. It's like a side.
Yeah, because remember, I'm just a basic bitch Star Wars guy.
Essentially, Tales of the Jedi was it was like a 6 short series that were like small, large. They like differentiated in time, and they journey into like the life of Ahsoka Tano as she grew up, Count Dooku as he grew up in the Jedi Academy, and some other characters. It was created by Filoni, which is really interesting. They also get Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon Jinn, which is really cool. Nice. Yeah, I remember. But yeah, maybe I am remembering it wrong. I apologize. But all I know is my dad saw it, and he has been at my throat saying, "You need to see this series, man. You need to see this series." And apparently, let me see. Actually, let me take a look at Rotten Tomatoes. May as well just see that as a basic like setup.
So they're forgetting probably the most important.
Jesus Christ! It is good. 100%.
Most important faction in Star Wars.
What?
The Jews in space.
Ah.
Jews in space.
Double reference. 1 for Cruiser that I showed him today, and 2, Mel Brooks.
I was going to say Mel Brooks is too busy focusing on history of the world.
Oh my god, my dad saw that, and he said it was one of the worst things he's ever seen. And I'm just gonna say,
yeah, it's been good.
Considering how big a fan my dad is of Mel Brooks, like you guys may not know this, when it comes to Mel Brooks, he is a Mel Brooks jerk of a fan. He knows Mel Brooks' work. He knows when it's good, and he rarely has said anything bad about anything he's written.
I have his autograph.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked up Tales of the Jedi I'm sorry, go
I
on,
mean,
Cruiser. Come on.
no. I just mean like it really depends on like your form of comedy thing, because like I will say like it's different than like some of the stuff that he's done. Like that's all I could say.
Yeah.
But it was still funny.
So I looked up how well Tales of the Jedi did last year, and yes, the average tomatometer says 100% audience, and the audience score is like up to 93%. And this is an over. I guess I gotta find time to see the series now. Then again, all the other stuff here is talking about how good the Super Mario Brothers movie was. Adding that to the list. So moving on here, we have no details that have been released of now, aside it being just the simple same template as season 1 with different characters. Now we're gonna take a little sidestep right now. This wasn't really announced at oh wait, hold on. Yeah, this wasn't really announced at Star Wars weekends, but I'm gonna say it just because Cruiser is part of this genre, and that's the updates they're making to Star Tours. The Star Tour, the ride's going to be going through its first major changes since 2019, and where they're going to be adding more lands, more stories, which is pretty cool. I like how this ride's been more interchangeable throughout the years. And they haven't released what they're going to be showing, but I'm assuming Mandalorian and/or Ahsoka is probably going to be in there. Maybe some Book of Boba Fett. So I would totally like to see a Star Tours ride through that final fight scene where we see Boba Fett ride the Rancor. Again, that's the most metalist thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars anything. Boba Fett riding the fucking Rancor. Personally, I would like to see an HD remaster of the original version of the ride just as a little nostalgic throwback. The changes are probably starting in 2024. Cruiser, as the guy that's the theme park dude here, what do you think of this update that I just brought up?
It's really going to depend on what they update it with, because like I said, if it's like the Mandalorian, which was a huge hit with fans, then okay, yeah, let's see how this is going to work. What concerns a lot of people is all the other, what we'll call the negative possibilities, like all the Star Wars products that have come out that fans didn't like.
Like, you're talking recent stuff?
Anything since the sequel trilogy.
I mean, they've done the sequel trilogy. They've already got the sequel trilogy on there, and it's been okay. But like, aside that, maybe Book of Boba Fett, maybe Kenobi, but like nothing really much has been received overwhelmingly negative.
I don't know, because I just know they're going to put something in there from Life Day. I just know it.
Are you being a racist? You're being a racist to Life Day. You guys are hearing this.
Screw Life Day.
How about
Exactly.
How about you screw yourself? I just like how Life Day has become like a canon thing in Star Wars. Who are you kidding, Cruiser? I would love to see how they can integrate Life Day some way in their Star Tours ride. What the fuck are you talking about?
Insert the Wookiee VR porn thing. There you go. Can you imagine like everyone there going, "Oh yes, we're excited, aren't we?"
Who was that actress in that scene? Jablaski, did you just have a nervous breakdown where you try and do an impression of Chewbacca's dad?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? You sound like my uncle trying to do Chewbacca when he was drunk. But yeah, like I would like to see one day they just bring back the original ride where they got Pee Wee Herman as the pilot. Yeah,
They have to have the screen up for.
Yeah, but I mean, like maybe
or
one.
Just the voice.
Huh?
Maybe just the voice they'll probably have, or they'll have the screen, the camera, like the
like a screen
monitor. Yeah.
They might do that. I mean, like, they could have one. They have like 4 different chambers. They could have one chamber dedicated to the old one. But actually, that wouldn't make sense to the rides. The Star Tours ride is not canon, but the storyline behind Captain Rex it has a story of its own. I mean, now he's a DJ in Batuu at this bar.
That's what they should do. They should play the Han Solo song.
I would love to see that. But yeah, I like how they gave the old pilot of Star Tours like a little job. I think that was cute. I'm like, okay, Rex is having a good time.
Not gonna lie, the Han Solo song is actually pretty catchy.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what you're...
It is. That's my guilty pleasure.
Let me put it like this way. The Star Wars Kinect game, seeing Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader dance to Deadmau5's Ghosts and stuff is... When I saw that, I'm like, nope, I don't care what anybody says. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't care. I want this to be canon. I'm just putting it out here. This is Palpatine saying, this is how Palpatine survived. I don't... Fuck the cloning thing. I know it, despite me just bending it all the time. Fuck the cloning. This is how he survived. He just danced the entire time. Just stay awake. Oh my god, that ride. That game. But yeah,
and
like
John Tron's reaction.
But no, what do you think of the? But no, honestly, Cruiser, what do you think of the of this idea of them changing the ride around with these new updates? I mean, when it was first released, George Lucas said that was what was significant about the ride, about it being interchangeable.
Like I said, it depends on what they're going to put in it. If it's stuff that fans have enjoyed since Disney's purchase of Lucasfilm, then okay, sounds solid. But if it's stuff that fans didn't like, then what was the point?
I don't know. They've added stuff from Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and things have been okay. So, I mean, they did.
Sure about that? Because it
has
like a 10-minute wait.
Well, it's always had a 10-minute wait because of how many. Yeah, you know why there's a 10-minute wait?
Because it's dated.
Not really. It's namely 10-minute wait because there's plenty of room in the vehicles. I actually got this confirmed from a cast member.
And it's also getting old.
That's your opinion. I think it's still... I mean, I can't say it's getting old because they've been updating it constantly, but, unlike giving love to other rides. But, Kuma, I know you're not much of a rider yourself, but what do you think of this idea?
Which ride was it?
Star Tours.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, like what Cruiser said, like, depending on, like, what they have in who it draws to as well, too, because if it's mainly showing, like, old characters and everything, yeah, I mean, like, that's all you probably do, because, I'm just thinking, like, they, like, due to the show, like, the shows and everything, they have, like, more to use with them, and, like, I don't know how they could use them for more things as well, for rides.
I mean, with the rides, the stuff they put in the thing for the sequels, I mean, the one scene that they gave us so far was the fight in the salt mines from Rise of Skywalker. Not Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi. And that was a pretty cool scene. I like what they do. Actually liked that fight in the movie because of how, like, it was cool how the speeders are, like, dragging through the salt and it shows, like, the rubies underneath. That was a pretty cool artistic show. Say what you will about the sequels. People have given praise to some of the fight scenes in the action scenes, and that's pretty much what the Star Tours ride centers around. But anyway, we'll see where that goes. It's coming. They didn't give a date when it would be added specifically, but the changes are set to start in 2024. Next up, we got Bad Batch. Okay, I'm just going to be kind of blunt on this. There was a trailer released for this. I didn't watch it. I only didn't watch it because I want to finish season 2, and I kind of don't want anything spoiled. The only thing I can really say is it's going to be the final season.
Yeah, I think yeah.
And I think that's pretty much fair. 3 seasons is pretty much a good way to go out on. Next.
Yeah, especially for, like, the group that it is, too.
Yeah. I'd love to see what happens to the boys. My boys.
The boys.
I love my boys. And again, I gotta finish season 2, and my dad's been continuing to watch it, and he says episode 8 there's something that happens in there that you're gonna be mind blown about. No spoilers. Mm-hmm. But let's move on to the next one here. Here's one that you guys were told me you were excited about, and that was Star Wars Visions Volume 2.
Woohoo!
Star Wars Visions, if you don't know, was an anthology series that was released 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And essentially what Disney did is they went to all these different anime studios and said, you're making a Star Wars short, do whatever you want, just do it in a cool art style. And that's what it is. Each episode is... each episode's done by a different studio and the art styles changes. Like I like the first one with that's in like that black and white Kurosawa style, which is awesome. Cruiser, what were you gonna say?
Didn't they say the same thing to the people who made the Star Wars holiday special?
No.
They didn't say just make whatever you want because that's what it looked like.
No, it doesn't really. This is kind of a different perspective altogether, considering this is animation. It's done in different cameras and art styles. Anyway.
I have one huge problem with this.
Okay.
With this season, they really need to drop the anime description. Because of all the studios.
Oh, yeah.
One or two of them are Japanese anime based.
Yes, and I think that's what they're going for. Because here's the deal.
As long as they drop it from the description, because it's not exclusively anime anymore.
What?
It's fine. Yeah, they're not exclusively anime anymore. It's just the two, and one or two in this new season.
Yes, I think again.
Well, the idea wasn't for it to be anime in general in the first place. It was just really to showcase like a different set of stories from like a different style.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's what they're doing. Like if you actually notice the logo, it's not written in like that Japanese like what's the word I'm looking for? That Japanese calligraphy style. When in the logos like art style, this one's kind of more like a different kind of version. And yeah, this one is actually
because I will agree with Jablonski that some of the because some of them aren't like traditional like that.
Oh yeah, like but according to this, we're also
the only biggest gripe with it. Everything I'm fine with them going to different studios and having them do their own thing. I'm fine with that 100%.
Yeah,
it's just with them specifically saying anime, and yet they're not doing it with season 2, except for like 2 studios.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to keep it.
Yeah, they're getting, from what I'm hearing, we're getting animated studios from Japan, we're getting one from India, we're getting from the United Kingdom, Ireland, Spain, Chile, France, South America, South Korea, and the United States are throwing in one.
There's like 3 episodes I'm keeping my eye out for. The 2 anime studios, and there was one that was like I'm trying to think the one studio that did Secret of the Kells and all that.
Well, I'm going to actually go over each episode title that was released, and I'm going to just say where they're from, what country they're from, and which studios. The first episode is going to be called Scythe by the Spain production company El Guiri Studios. Second episode, Screecher's Reach by the production company of Ireland, Cartoon Saloon.
That was the one.
Into the Stars, which is by the Chile production company, Punk Robot. This is the one. This is the one I'm looking forward to. Episode 4, I Am Your Mother, by the United Kingdom's Aardman Animations, who brought us Wallace and Gromit. That I am looking forward to the most. I want to see some stop motion Star Wars, man. But let me see what else we got here. Journey to the Dark Head by Studio Mir Company of South Korea. The Spy Dancer by Studio La Cachette from France. The Bandits of Galak, which is by 88 Pictures in India. That's actually really interesting. You don't see a lot of India animations in a while. The Pit, which is the only one coming from Japan, in the United States, which is done by D'Art Shigeyo and Lucasfilm Ltd. And I can't pronounce this name here. This is from South Africa's production company Triggerfish, Ao's Song. So yeah, this is not really marketed as an anime series, but more or less just an anthology series of different original stories. And I like what they're doing here of giving different animated companies to do this from like different regions instead of just focusing on one, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with it so far is the fact that they're doing various ones. Like, imagine, because I feel like that can kind of expand more on different like volumes. Like, imagine if Volume 2 only centered from stuff from like was only made by production companies of people from Spain, or and like Volume 3 was then taken to Ireland, and then after that was Volume 4 with Chile. Like, we get all these different stories and ideas. Then again, I feel like the downside was I think that would overwhelm or overcrowd the amount of shorts we get. What do you guys think?
I don't know. You're asking the
No,
wrong
yeah, I
guy.
think so. No, yeah, I think that was probably one of the big things. But like, one of the things was also, yeah, getting these companies to like probably work with them and all like that.
Oh yeah, of course. But do you think it's a good direction to just go like different studios in different areas at once, or should they have went to like a different studio every time they made a different season or volume? Please excuse me.
Yeah, it worked for Animatrix.
Yeah, it did.
That's a good point. I never thought of that actually. That's a good observation, Cruiser. Another good one. For a guy who's not.
Yeah, there's like, see, for no, for them to go with like different animation or different animation companies and all like that, it's I works just because like again like I don't think they are fully trying to tell a story or like not a connected story.
Oh
At
no, it's
least.
not. These are all original stories that
No,
that aren't in the universe. Hell, in Star Wars Visions
yeah,
Episode 1, they go through a movie theater and you can see the like Star Wars: A New Hope on a movie theater in the background, which I thought was pretty funny.
yeah, yeah. So it'd be like so. I guess yeah, like that's why I think it works because like with them being its own thing, where it's like it's
Yeah.
yeah its own separate thing. I think like with it being like it's made by a different company works as well too.
Hmm. Cruiser, are you okay,
Like
buddy?
you could feel and see the like the
I'm
independence of
just
it.
sleepy.
Sorry, Roger Cruiser. You think you're gonna make it? You're gonna make it through this whole way, or you wanna just take out? I've only got like three more announcements, and they're pretty brief.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that means I can finally open that damn package.
That's fine. You can take a break from the Star Wars and do that. But like Kuma, I see what you're saying. I like and I like that observation. With that said, let's go even to a younger generation with this series. This was a series that was announced last year when we talked about this, and it's a series simply called. This is why I wanted Bruce to be on this, because I said, "Hey, look, your daughter can watch something that's Star Wars related now." Young Jedi Adventures.
I fear for the series finale.
I watched the video on that saying
The
that it
special
was,
guest, Anakin Skywalker.
Hayden Christensen's best cameo ever.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's Master Skywalker. Ah! Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Anyway, let's see.
We're already going there.
Mm-hmm. So this is a kid series, and I actually put that in the script. I can't wait for the last episode where they meet Master Skywalker. The premise, set during the High Republic era, centuries before the events of the main Star Wars films, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures follows a group of younglings as they learn the ways of the Force, including compassion, self-discipline, teamwork, patience, and to become Jedi Knights. Upon looking at the trailer, I thought it was cute. Looked okay. Doesn't look harmful or anything. It looks pretty good. Like, when this was announced, I was expecting something like they were going to do something like something similar to Jake and the Neverland Pirates, where it was more like audience interactive, like that, kind of like a Dora the Explorer kind of deal. But no, this is something more like something they have an original story going on there. I think it looked cute for the kids. I mean, what do you think, Kuma, when you saw this trailer?
I like it. I'm enjoying like you said the animation for this as well too.
Oh yeah, the 3D animation.
Yeah, like especially like the look. To me, it's more of a 3D version or a more 3D looking version of damn, what's that kid show where they're on the rocket ship?
Oh, Little Einsteins.
Little Einsteins.
Yeah, like that. It vaguely makes me think like something like that for some reason. I don't know
That's
why.
what I was getting from it, actually. Second of all, am I the one that finds it weird that these little kids are piloting X-wings?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Yeah, like we're supposed to believe they're younglings or
And it's like, X-wing pilots you are. Have
again,
fun.
then again, young Anakin was in one.
Yeah, he was 9. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he was a pod racer. That did not make the argument any better, did it? I just saying that.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's not the point. You're like we're arguing about kids being in the racers. It's like I don't agree that kids shouldn't be in that race either.
I know. I was about to say, like, what was I thinking there? Kuma just won that one.
It's like pod racing. That's a whole lot better than a spaceship.
Actually, I want to know that. I'm going to look that up right now. What is the driving age in the Star Wars universe? Would you be surprised if there was an would you be surprised if there was an answer for this?
I think you would need a license, but I don't know if you would need a specific age. Maybe.
That should be a thing. I want to see how star pilots get their license. Yep, there is actually a thing for it.
I was gonna say it's either like tests or simulations.
It's called the Age of Responsibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
How Star Wars.
Oh my god. On the core worlds of Alderaan, Cornelia, they're set at 17. Bria, the Mandalorian Society, children of both sexes would face the rite of passage in the age of 13. Naboo, it's 21. Let's just say it's 17. 17 is the earliest one, and the Mandalorians like to have fun. But yeah, I'm looking for. I'm not gonna see it, but I'd like to see. But I'm glad kids got a little Star Wars show for them. I think that's cute, and everything in there's gonna be canon. So I'm expecting to see a grittier version of that blue panda thing in the later episode of Mandalorian.
Oh, nubs.
Yeah, Nubs is gonna get it. Like, I want to see him with like a future Mandalorian, except he's like a full-grown adult. He's like more gritty and everything.
Unrelated topic here, but I found out that there was a cartoon series that was loosely based on the arcade machine Pole Position. And apparently there's a character in this cartoon called Kuma.
Okay, I'm gonna go change Kuma's name to. I'm gonna go change Kuma's name to Jedi Master Pole Position right now. Because second of all, Pole Position. I also thought Pole Position was a weird name for a game. There you go.
It has to do with the driving position.
Keep NASCAR off my stream. Anyway, I was just kidding. That's really funny. That's actually a really funny coincidence. Anyway, next up, I thought Kuma would be happy about this one. The gameplay of Jedi Survivor was revealed.
Oh yeah.
Did you catch the footage on that?
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Oh yeah, isn't there a demo out right now?
Playing the first one. I believe so. Yeah.
And you played the original one. I think Jablonski did too.
Yeah, the first one.
No, but I'm like kind of there.
Like I haven't played.
I mostly played.
Like whenever I look at this gameplay, I'm always getting like a vibe from The Force Unleashed, which is interesting because again, everybody has been saying that they want The Force Unleashed to get a remaster and put in the canon with a Galen Merrick story. So we'll see what happens. We'll go with that. We'll see what happens with that. But you played the demo, right?
No, I don't. I haven't played it. No. I've just been watching play of it.
And you're excited.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Especially the new ideas and the new customizations that they have.
Oh yeah. I'm concerned of who they're going to get music wise. I mean, last time the game released, they got the Who to have a is that how it's pronounced? The Who?
Yeah, that's why I first heard them.
Yeah, they were in the game. They had a soundtrack in the part of the game, which was pretty cool. But we'll see where they go there. This kid's turning into the Star Lord of Star Wars. So that's pretty much everything that was announced. In my opinion, I thought the Star Wars celebration this year was well done. We got a lot of cool stuff. I did see some of the cast interviews, and not really much to point out in what was being said, but there was this one interaction with Palpatine. Palpatine's actor, Ian, I cannot pronounce his last name, Draymond. He walks in, gives the Emperor cackle, which was pretty cool. And apparently, he had this story he shared. He was sitting in the park after doing work on a play he was on. And he's sitting in the park with this other dude, right? I think they're having lunch or something. And one guy passes by and says, "Hey, glad to see you're doing good work. That you're getting work there, Senator." And then he looks at him dead in the eyes and says in Palpatine's voice, "It's Supreme Chancellor. Thank you very much." I just like how he has fun with the Emperor role. I love that. I'm actually glad he reprised the role in Bad Batch, which is pretty cool.
Let's see. I'm currently on a website to build a lightsaber. I'm looking at some of the stuff like they have for
Ooh, what are you using?
like they literally have it's a website called Saberforge.
Oh, Saberforge, that's a good one. I thought it was either going to be Saberforge, Ultra Saber, or Vader's Vault.
Yep. For this one, they have it where like you can literally like pick the pieces and everything.
There was a guy who had a lightsaber when I was at MegaCon. We were in line behind him, and he had a lightsaber that he upgraded to have like soundtracks put in there for each color, like when he had Obi-Wan's and played Duel of Fates. But yes, as our final piece of news, it was the announcements of next Star Wars Celebration. The location for the next Star Wars Celebration will be in Japan. Held from April 18th through the 20th in 2025. Star Wars Celebration will be held in Japan.
So much for coming to Orlando.
Yeah, it was actually kind of weird. My question is, what the heck took over MegaCon? That, again, when I said that it was kind of like a peephole rumor, I told you to take it with a grain of salt. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I just said that was a theory that was going around. But, it's pretty cool that they're going to Japan. And I like to see what they can do there. I didn't even know... I never even thought Japan would have been considered, honestly. Then again, I think they did one in France one time. Didn't they do one in France?
Oh, that's...
It was funny because when it was held in Orlando, I was actually at Disney World with my cousins, and there were Star Wars fans like everywhere in Epcot. It was so funny. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm missing this. Then again, if I wanted to go to that, I'd have to save like mad because the tickets to go to it are mad expensive. And considering what goes into that convention and who they get and everything, it's perfectly justified in my opinion. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we got for Star Wars in the future and what we got going on. Because we got some good announcements this year. I mean, Kuma, what did you think of the announcements we got this year?
It was pretty good. Like, I think it's enough to satisfy everyone till May when everything comes out. Because I feel maybe around that time when everything comes out, like they'll probably be like, "Hey, here's some extra stuff as well too to keep y'all excited about Star Wars."
I like how you said that in May when everything comes out on the 4th. Jablonski, what did you think?
I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, I think you probably ate pretty damn good this time around.
Yeah, I mean, last year was good too. I mean, more or less celebrating everything with Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Hearing them getting the guy who played Darth Maul to shout Kenobi's name like in Rebels was pretty cool. Hearing friggin' what's his face saying like a bantha and learning that was improvised. Cruiser, as I know you're not much into the series, but what do you think of the announcements that were revealed in this event? being not a fan or anything like that, but did you like some of the stuff you heard?
I'm not the guy to ask, I'm afraid.
That's fine. That's fine, we get it. The Force is not strong in this man. Anyway. I kind of wish I did it with the Vader helmet on. That would have been cool. Put this thing on her, give me a mask, I'd be an instant dark helmet.
We're going to ludicrous speed.
She's gone from blow to suck. A funny thing about Spaceballs, right? That was the last. I think that was the last thing that was shown on the hub before it changed over.
Maybe.
From what I've heard.
Darth Helmet, you're required to meet at the bridge at once.
So Jablonski, do you want to get your box?
Your Schwarzer. What was the line? Your Schwarzer as big as mine.
Yes.
Keep firing, assholes. I'm surrounded by assholes. That's me and ants.
Assholes.
Yeah, that's me with ants. That's why I say every day, I'm like, surrounded by assholes.
Yep. Been waiting a long time to open this. I mean,
Okay.
oh my god. Becky, look at this box.
It is so big.
Be careful not to show your address, Cruiser. I should probably advise you be careful not to show your address on the air.
All right,
Because people will start sending you pizzas.
All right, so just to recap, Jablonski...
Or dummy dicks.
Now to recap, Jablonski and I got a couple of the Linkin Park Meteora 20th Anniversary box sets. He got the vinyl edition, I got the big edition. Tie roll.
Yeah, because someone had to be fucking fancy.
Yeah. So Jablonski's going to open up his first. And keep in mind, these boxes are still sealed. None of us have opened these. I've been waiting a long time to rip this sucker open.
So, yeah, this is still sealed. And unlike me, though thankfully I have Spotify, I can, unlike fucking Cruiser who had to be a fancy fuck, mine doesn't come with the demos because that's on a CD and not vinyl. Though as soon as those fucking drop, because you know they'll do it, I'm getting my hands on the demos. Now, growing up, I can't say I was the biggest Linkin Park fan, but there were songs that I did like. And one of the albums that got me into Linkin Park was Meteora. So we have the original album.
We'll show it to the screen.
I thought it did.
Yeah, it was kind of off to the side.
There we go.
Nice.
The original album. The LPU Rarities 2.0. And the live rarities. 2003, 2004.
I don't see any ponies on there.
The vinyl is just straight black.
That's
I
racist.
thought there was 4 vinyls in there.
One of them, it's the LPU Rarities that has 2 of them.
Oh, I see. Well, as someone who was a member of the LP Underground, we got some pretty cool exclusive shit in that club.
For more info on
Cruiser's
Cruiser's history on the LP Underground, check out his channel for a 3-part video explaining his history. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks like they're just all straight black.
You'll definitely get a lot of mileage, though, out of the LPU rarities. There's a great cover they did of 9 Inch Nails' Wish. That sounded fantastic.
Ooh.
I think I told you this, Cruiser, but apparently Aki Glancy was part of the LP Underground.
No, you never told me.
I thought I did. We were at Super Sands when she was visiting, and she told me, yeah, I was part of the LP. I think she said she was part of the LP Underground. So talk to her. We got to get her on back on the stream to talk. I'm gonna send her a message while you guys are talking. See if you want to be a guest host one day.
But yeah, I was looking forward to this because I'm like, hey, now I have to buy it. when I first heard they were doing vinyls for Meteora. Because it's one of the tentpole albums that got me into not only into more rock, because I grew up with a lot of country. So I grew up with Darth Brooks. I grew up with Toby Keith and Tim McGraw, Rascal Flatts. I didn't really get into rock that much until essentially my teenage years. And funny enough, when I was younger, I was listening to Behind Blue Eyes, the original, and they and my mom, she heard it on the radio. It was like, that's stoner music. And funny enough, but as I got older, I listened to like Romance.
Can you imagine that Jablonski
Great,
as a stoner?
my favorite album. Kind of, I'm pseudo stoner.
Jablonski, shut up. Just talk about your punk rock music position.
But oh, shut up. Anyways, the obviously Breaking the Habit was what got me into Linkin Park. But personal favorite song of all time from this album, it has to probably be Somewhere I Belong.
Oh, that hit everybody in the feels.
That's not including the the Lost demos that they released lately for the 20th anniversary.
Now, do all those vinyls come in like one big sleeve?
No, they're in separate sleeves. They're each in their own little. I'm not going to take them out because you saw me struggle putting them back in. But they're in their own little sleeves. You got one here that is specifically live rarities. This one is, it has two of them, but it's the LPU rarities. And then you have the outright Eura. Which
It's amazing. It's amazing how well that album cover worked with a title like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you hear the word Meteora, I'm thinking something like space, but for some reason, that graffiti artist just spray painting there works. I have no idea why. It just does somehow.
And in a couple months, like a month or two or so, I actually pre-ordered the Blues Traveler vinyl that they had on pre-order.
Oh, really?
Of one of their live shows. An exclusive, it was like splatter color vinyl. So it's kind of sort of like my Red Gen Key Apparatus one, except it's like blues, whites, yellows. Kind of fits with the band, really.
Okay. Here we go. Here's this big sucker.
The fancy motherfucker.
Pour gas on it.
But like Jablonski said, though, all the songs are on Spotify if you can't afford something like this. So no need to fret. And inside this box, there's another box. Interesting. There, the cats have a new bed. Oh, it came off with one slice. Oh, look at the size of this thing. Man, this thing is heavy.
Like the other one.
And look, that's all the content that's on this thing. God, I can't believe it's been 20 years. I remember when this album came out, I saw them on tour with Project Revolution, and that was the day I actually got to meet them for the first time. Okay. Let's rip this sucker open. That new vinyl smell. Oh man, this is actually a high gloss. I like that. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, this is pretty cool. It's actually in book form. It folds out like a book rather than a box.
Fight his other arm.
Look at all that. Man, this thing is packed with stuff here. Okay, so it looks like in here are the vinyls, which, as Jablonski showed, we got the album from Meteora. We also got Live in Texas, their first ever live album. Disc 1, Disc 2. I'll never forget, that's actually where there was an order slip for an LPU Underground membership, and that's what I used to get mine. Okay, so...
Of course, my cat.
God, this actually... The materials of this actually feels really good. Doesn't feel like the kind of vinyl sleeves I'm used to. I'm sure what they made them out of, but they feel fantastic. Okay, so over here we have some of the other goodies. Here is the stencil, which I am not going to punch out because I want to save this thing. This looks beautiful. Some old school Linkin Park stickers. Probably from the Street Team days. Okay, it looks like we have a lithograph. If I remember correctly, this is from the guy who actually spray painted the giant wall. And speaking of that giant wall, there's a poster of the entirety of that wall. Which, man, this thing is big. Try to get all that in there. Don't know if the band will ever do a signing again, but I would love to have them sign this. It's a lot better than the other poster that came with the Hybrid Theory box set. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going here. Okay, it looks like here the book is actually kind of looks like it's sewn into the box set itself, so I can't just pull this thing out. But here are the CDs. There's 4 altogether. And the DVDs, of which there's 3 of. I'm going to be busy with this for some time.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, there's the Linkin Park Live in Nottingham vinyl. Man. That. And here is... Oh, this must be disc 2 of Live in Nottingham. Yeah, side 3 and 4. It's a 2-disc set. Careful. And I think that's it. I could have sworn there was something else, some sort of a code thing in here. I'm pretty sure I'll find it later. But yeah, this thing is huge. It is massive. I can't believe it's been 20 years. One song on this album that I was surprised was not turned into a music video was Easier to Run. Because I think when you're a kid, that hits you pretty hard. It's easier to run from your problems than to deal with them. And the harmonic work they did on that was just beautiful. And when I got the guitar tab book, I realized this is not how you play the song. Oh, but Chester, God, we still miss you. So, I would definitely say, no matter which version you get, it's worth getting. I'm going to be busy with this for some time.
This is the Concert Cruiser with hooked on harmonics. God damn it! That means I know does that mean I now gotta play the outro intro? Fuck it, I will. You're still hugging it.
No, there should be a couple of things in here that I'm not finding.
Well, I guess while he's on that scavenger hunt, I could show, if you want, I could show off the Vader mask a little bit more in detail.
Go ahead.
In detail.
Go ahead.
So I was wearing it earlier in the stream, and I wanted to show it to Jablonski because I wanted to show him how much of a bitch it was to put it on. So I want to show the cool details in this. The Vader mask comes in 4 different parts. This being the breathing mechanism, the neck. I showed you the top half of the helmet and the mask right here. And I just want to give a good shout out to the details in this. There are 2 versions of this mask, one with the silver mask and one with the black mask. Each one has similar features, such as look at these details in the breathing apparatus. From the little like microphones that are like easily adjustable to like the poking mechanisms there. Like all the wires built in on the sides. Every detail was not skimped on this mask. Like when the mask's off, this is the noise it makes when the mask is off. He has the wheezing effect, which is pretty cool. And of course, there's the neck piece that fastens it on. I love the spikes on the side. And again, the little things. Just the little things in that detail, similar to the original Vader mask. How I get that on? Might as well just show that thing there. I have to put my earphones off so that way I can be heard, so I have to turn the volume up. Fastening it on like this is crazy. Looks like I got a giant weird metal beard. Then again, who wouldn't want a giant weird metal beard?
I wouldn't.
Wish I heard what Jablonski said, but I'm going to have to see that on playback. Putting it on is a pain in the ass. I think I got it on upside down, actually. I don't know if you saw this post my dad made on Facebook. He immediately, after I show it to him, he immediately burst into my room saying, I need to try it on. My dad was in the hospital a week before MegaCon for some issues, and he took a picture of him wearing the Vader mask, right? And when he posted it, he wrote the following. At first I thought my pulmonary doctor's approach was extreme, but to my surprise, no copay. It just shows him sitting there with the Darth Vader helmet on. But yeah, the good stuff there with the details. The mask has the different areas in the top. From the magnetic parts. But the inside's what matters. Like imagine, like I can put you in Anakin Skywalker's point of view when this thing was being lowered onto him. It's so fascinatingly detailed with the red eyes. I think I will. There you go. Oh yeah, you guys can't see it. Congratulations, you are now Darth Vader. Go jump off a cliff. Or something, whatever he does. You put it on there, it makes sound effects. It's good stuff. So they get fastened. Makes the noises. If I can get it to work. It's hard to put on alone. Shit. There we go. As well as the other side. There we go. Put the hat on and voila, you are now Lord Vader. Go choke a dude or whatever. Did I mention I'm really happy with this purchase?
You could do an Ito wrap for one of the
Everybody's quiet, man.
the handle.
Because I have to put this on.
No, you just can't hear us.
Again, I have to wrap the earbuds around my hat, so yeah. This might's a little crazy. So what else are you guys up to?
Still looking at stuff to make a lightsaber.
Nice. What kind of color are you gonna go for?
Thinking either purple or maybe orange, but most likely
Blue's always the best one. Gotta get this off me. Getting it off is a pain in the ass.
I've been
There we
keeping
go.
track of. I've been doing.
That's actually a good question.
Upgrades for my printer.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm all tangled up.
I've been looking at upgrades for my.
You're like the
3D
real
printer,
Vader right
and
now.
I.
My question. That's actually a good question for all you guys there.
What?
There.
Let Jablonski talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have my headphones off. My bad.
So I've been looking and ordering parts for my 3D printer because I goofed up and got a blower that's a little too big for the cloud that I got for my printer.
And what are you gonna do about it?
Order a new blower, and I also picked out the next major upgrade that I'm doing, which is going to make this thing fucking bigger.
Ah, but will it make it bigger?
How big? Well, let's see. It's going to be a little over 2 feet this way, and over 2 feet that way, and about 2.5 feet in depth. So this thing is going to be a beast once I'm done with it.
It's gonna be cool. Can't wait to see it when it gets there.
Yeah, when I get it all set up, but everything I need to get is expensive as fuck. Because I have to get a new glass plate for it too. And the whole next major upgrade I'm doing is going to be like over $330.
Yikes.
Jeez.
That's why I'm like, I'll do what I'm doing now for the upgrade. I'll wait a while and then I'll get it.
That's pretty good. I'm spending.
I can easily afford it. It's just I got so much coming up right now. It is not funny.
You and me both. I'm trying to save enough money to get some more RAM for my computer.
I will be right back.
Cruiser,
What's up?
if you had a lightsaber color, what would it be?
Oxblood.
What color is that? If it's blood.
I don't know. I just know it's a color.
Let me see. Ox blood. That would be red. So you'd be a Sith.
Sure, why not?
Unlike the Jedi who weird things, it was a symbol of their unity and unwavering dedication to the dark side of the Force. Congratulations, you got the equivalent of the Book of Satan. So, Kuma, you said blue or what other color?
I said purple or orange.
Oh, go with orange. You don't see a lot of orange lightsabers.
Yeah, but I'm going with purple because I choose purple.
That's fine.
I like it. I take it.
You know why, Bruiser? I think you might already know this. You know why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber, right?
So he would stand out.
No, that's why Samuel Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber. Why does Mace Windu have a purple lightsaber?
I don't know.
It's actually funny. I saw that
That doesn't answer the question.
What was the question? What I asked?
Yeah.
Why he has it? Again, you are right. The real reason is because Samuel Jackson wanted the wanted to stand out in the stadium scene. Then Lucas approached him saying, "Look, Samuel, the lightsabers only come in 3 colors: blue, green, and red." And he's like, "Yeah, but I want a purple one." Which is funny because in the Star Wars lightsaber video game that came out during Episode 1, Mace Windu brandishes a blue lightsaber, but whatever. And so, yeah, when they're about to shoot the stadium scene, George Lucas actually privately brings him in and shows him the lightsaber, which is pretty cool. But, let's see here. I think the interesting thing about his lightsaber is that, shit, what happened there? It's funny because, like, let me see what we got here for Wikipedia. Probably essentially the Jedi says... I'm thinking it had something to do because he once delved in the dark side a couple of times. I might be wrong. There's a long thing to it. He basically acquired what was called a Carusa County lightsaber, which is interesting. Which is, I think, where the purple crystal mine was, which is interesting stuff. So yeah, you know. So Cruiser. Okay. So let's go over right here. I'm the blue one. Kuma's kind of the badass. Cruiser's a sadist, and I guess that leads Jablonski. Who's taking? Let's take bets. I'm gonna say green.
I'd like to see him maybe with a white one.
Definitely a white one. Cruiser, your bet.
Yellow.
That's a good out there color.
But what style of handle would you have, Evan?
Oh, let me tell you about my favorite lightsaber hilts. I love my lightsaber hilts smooth, not bumpy with anything protruding out to hurt my hand. I like having that big, smooth hilt that I can just drive my hand up and down and just caress that lightsaber when I'm holding it. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I put this lightsaber next to the completed Darth Vader mask and it looks fucking awesome with the reflection.
Nice. Okay, so you prefer just a regular straight handle?
Yeah, just a regular straight handle. I do like the one that one guy from Rebels had. Who was the blind dude? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He had kind of like a handguard there on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, he was also in yeah, I believe he was also in no, Fallen.
Yeah. Okay, he's coming back. Let's see
what no, I think he was also in Star Wars Unleashed as well too.
I don't know if he was or not. I know he was in Rebels. That's all I know. Jablonski's home. Jablonski, are you back? So Cruiser said. No. So I said green. Kuma said. What did you say?
White.
I can't do white on this one. And of course, Cruiser said yellow. I said yellow. Give me yellow. There we go. I fucking love this thing. I don't care if it doesn't make noises or any things there. I love this lightsaber. Just so long as it has that lightsaber-like glow. They did show off one of the most realistic lightsabers they had with the retracting blade at Star Wars Celebration, and it looked amazing. To this day, I want to know how they're able to do it. Because apparently someone was able to make a functioning lightsaber on YouTube just like a couple of years ago. That can cut shit. Which is interesting because like I've always wanted to see a fire-like lightsaber. Except the less I say about the light whip, the better. You don't know what that was? It was basically like a lightsaber whip. That did stuff. It was interesting stuff. Dang it! I'm talking to Aki on the other end there, and she's apparently going to be doing some stuff at. She's working on something for a convention that involves her providing the Miku for it on a concert. I'm gonna ask her see if she wants to come on the stream sometime. She's gonna be doing at a place called TigerCon, which is in Valdosta, Georgia. Valdosta, Georgia, excuse me.
Sorry, I'm just feeling nostalgic over this thing.
You're gonna sleep with that thing tonight, aren't you? Just holding it like friggin' Ralphie holds his BB gun.
Maybe. What's it to you?
I didn't say. I wasn't judging. I just asked a question. I was asking a question to just confirm you were, and if you said yes, I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay.
You ever seen what the first original lightsaber looked like in the original Republic? It was like a hilt that was attached to a giant power backpack. Okay, Jablonski.
Oh yeah.
we were gonna ask. We were talking about our favorite lightsaber colors, and we had predictions of what yours was. So, what would be your lightsaber color?
Purple.
Kuma won that one.
Huh?
I said green. Kuma said purple, and Cruiser said yellow. Actually, no. You said white, didn't you, Kuma?
No, yeah, I was about to say no. I said like,
Well, you still won because you. Well, I'm just still declaring Kuma the winner because he's Kuma, and he's the one with the yellow light with the purple lightsaber. Jedi Master Coombs, or something, of that matter.
let's see. I don't really care for the lightsaber to have sound. Sound.
Like I said, it was cool. This guy was. I like how you can upgrade lightsabers now to have like music play on it and everything, and like quotes. It's really cool.
Oh, hey, I could put the length of the lightsaber I want.
The what?
The length.
The link?
The length.
Oh, the length. Excuse me. Should make it a fucking light spear. Go all out. Go Jedi Temple Guardian light spear.
I was about to say that just means having like a long hilt or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's a spear, but you know, it's kind of more staff, or is it light staff? I can't remember.
So I'll go 26.
How much we looking at it? Never mind, you don't need to tell me.
Wait, so what?
I said, how much is this going to run you?
Hold on, I'm adding it all to the cart right now.
I'm going to say 1,000.
Because I'm doing the assembly service that it does, and I picked all the parts. I'm going with a Exile emitter, a Jade Fire switch, a Katana body Mark II, and a pommel, a number 17 pommel. And so all together, this all in total adds up to $275.
Sick.
And 91 cents.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I mean, like, I prefer the hilts in the Vader's Vault series. Honestly. Especially with their features.
Right.
Are you going to take a look at some other brands and like compare which ones you might like with the other features?
I guess, yeah, because that was the second one I saw. And this was just only the first one I saw when it popped up. But yeah, let's see. I'll say that there. What was the other one? Vader's Vault.
Vader's Vault is like high-end lightsabers. They go up to like 500 if needed. And but the hilts look sick. They're the only other lightsaber construction group that I think are at MegaCon every year. The other one being Ultra Saber.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw them. Yeah, I think I saw them.
There's also another brand out there that's called the Final Five. Whoever's playing the Sesame Street music in the background is really giving me some interesting...
But it's a baby kitty!
Let me see.
Guy.
Easy kitty.
Hold on, I gotta put you
Yo,
on there.
Aww.
This is what
I got my own
Look
kitty
at-
too.
Wait, look at that face.
You know what, Cruiser? That's your Final Five. That is your Final Five right there. You're just gonna show...
Okay, good night.
Okay, he's good with it. Get Jablonski, you're up next. You go.
I haven't got too much going on other than schoolwork and whatnot. I'm starting to wind down on class for this semester, which means I can hit other projects better. And I got a very busy next couple weeks coming up. this upcoming week is a bit more of personal stuff. The next week I will be at Central Texas Comic-Con for a day. And after that, it's going to be Collecticon up in Dallas. And then it's just kind of chilling and hanging out until my trip in July to Florida. And remember, kids, drink your motherfucking drugs.
Oh, good. You had 5 seconds left. 3 seconds, excuse me. Alrighty then. That clears that out. Next up will be Kuma. Kuma, your time.
Culture Wars is psyop.
Kuma, your time begins now.
Yay. Not really much going on. I've just been doing nothing. I mean, I got a Switch. Yay. But no, just been hanging around, doing nothing. Making up new stories as well. But yeah, looking up like but yeah, besides that, nothing much either.
That's fine. That's always good stuff there. Cruiser, you're dead. Okay, so I guess that leaves me. Not much I can say. I'm still working hard. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm traveling to and from places. I'm a mess. I did find some time to do some more work at Worlds Incarnation. I'm still working on it. And I'm just gonna say this up front here. I asked Aki Glancy if she wanted to join us on the stream one time, and she's open to it. She said maybe next month, because she might have some clips to show for an upcoming concert, which is cool.
Yeah.
Cruiser's still dead. So, yeah. With that being said, thank you for joining us tonight and for celebrating our Star Wars special. I love doing Star Wars celebrations. I'm guessing our next one's going to be Comic-Con. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to end this with our usual shot of Kuma's quote of the week. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful night.
Yay. The quote for this week, since it's Star Wars thing, I looked up Vader because he's the most quotable one ever. Just kidding, but not yet. So I just thought this would be funny as a quote. Be careful not to choke on your own aspiration. Both good advice and a threat. By Vader. But yeah, anyway, from all of us here at AMP, may the Schwartz.
It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. End it right.
My life is a bacon-wrapped hell on earth.